Hey guys, today we're going to do a little bit of a repaint. I lost my favorite lure again. I need to repaint it. Before we start, I wanted to mention, I know quite a few guys are running around wearing Bite Me t-shirts, at least from the orders I've seen come in. I did want to let you know, you can now have a matching phone case. I now have the Bite Me phone cases, or if you're not into t-shirts, you just want to do a phone case, these are available for the iPhone and the Samsung. I'll put links down in the description so you can find them if they interest you, along with the t-shirt. I will tell you, on the iPhones, it says the oldest phone is the iPhone 7 and 8 Plus. But actually, I have the iPhone 6 Plus, and it fits perfectly in the 7 and 8 Plus case. So, if you're not into t-shirts, but you like to Bite Me, hey, there's a phone case. All right, what we're going to paint, S-crank style, pearlized black and chartreuse. It is my favorite lure, my favorite color. I've caught a lot of nice fish with that lure, and I've lost it a couple times and keep having to repaint it. It's been a while since I've done it, and there's a lot of new people. I wanted to show it again because we're going to put our base coat underneath the wrap, but we're going to use two different colors on the base coat. So that's a little bit different than some of the other stuff we've done. So let's give this one a shot, a pearlized black chartreuse. Stick with me. All right, we're going to put a wrap on this. So we need a base color to go under the wrap, and we're going to use two colors in this situation. And the first one's going to be black. So we are just going to spray it black. That's all there is to that. Now, I'm going to add a second color for my base coat, so what I'm going to have to do is dry this really good, get the heat gun, and then we'll put on the second color. Alright, we have our basic black, but as I said, I want two colors for my coating below the wrap. We're going to go Walmart, and this is Candy Apple Red. Ah, yeah. I used to have a Chevy that was a Candy Apple Red, but that was many years ago. Huh? Alright, just put a little bit out. I got a Q-tip, and so this situation, we're just going to put some paint on the Q-tip, and we're just going to put some red spots on. All we want, and don't get it real thick now, but you just want to cover it. You want some red, you want some black. Don't be scared to put on too much red because you'll lose a lot of it. It won't show up later as well as you think it will. I mean, right now you look at that and say, boy, there's some big red blotches on there, but they tend to disappear a little bit. So don't be bashful with the red. Hey, worst case scenario, it'll be a red undercoat instead of a black undercoat, right? Just put some little bit of every place. There we go. Call that good. Now the only thing we're going to come back, get all the paint off the Q-tip we can, and we'll just kind of lightly go over so we don't have the big globs. We want to make sure you don't have any of those. Yeah, keep grip on it, huh? Alright. And it won't matter if it's all going to be irregular because you know what? It's all going to get covered over. Pieces of this are going to show up. Some of it's not going to show up. There we are. There's our undercoat. Now, really, really good dry on this before you start thinking about putting a wrap around it. And you know what? It wouldn't even hurt to paint it like this. Hang it up. Let it sit for a few days or let it sit till next week and then come back and get it. That way you know that red is really good and dry on there because you got it on a lot thicker than you would have by putting on with the airbrush. Alright, we are ready to put on the wrap. We got our black, we got our red, got it dry. We're going to use this wrap. Let me get a hold of it here. I've picked this up at Hobby Lobby. It is in the floral section. So it's by their fake flowers and fake plants. It's used to wrap around fake flowers. Now, when it comes off the roll, she is pretty stiff, and you got to be careful. You'll scratch this up. It's real easy to scratch up. So what I usually do, here's a used one, but what I usually do, I'll use them more than once. We're going to take that thing, and even after it's used every time, we're going to ball it up, we're going to roll it around, we're going to soften it up as best we can, and then we're going to be a little careful. Now, also, if we look at this, one side is smoother than the other. This side's got little bumps on it. This side does not. And you'll never see this in the video, but trust me, when you go by it, you can look at it, and it's got bumps on one side and it's flat. So when you're putting this on, take a look at which side the bumps are on, which is this case, and put those to the outside. I'm just going to put one on. Let me get it around here a little bit more. Try to get it in the middle. And I use hairbreadths. I know everybody, most of the videos are using alligator clips. I found the hairbreadths a long time ago. I like those. We're not going to cover all the way to the tail. That's fine. I'm not after everything. I understand I'm not going to get full coverage at the back end. That's okay. This is the main thing I want covered on the main deal here. All right, I don't even care about the head. I'll pull that down or not. We can pull that down a little bit. Tell you what, we'll just pull that till it goes over the hook set up front. There we go. That pulls that down a little ways. Put a clamp. We're ready to paint. Now, we're doing our black and chartreuse, pearlized black and chartreuse. But to get our colors to come up and look right, for them to be proper, and to get the full effect of the colors, we're going to come back and we're going to paint this thing white first. We need to paint it white, so any color, it's just like when we start with a blank that has no paint, we put a base coat. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to put a base coat of white. We're going to use the Createx opaque white. Because we have the wrap, I want to paint this from all sides, front, back, up, down, front to back, back to front, so I get a good full coverage. And it also helps give us another effect here a little later, and we'll show you. So not only do I paint it from the front to the back, but I also paint it from the back to the front. Get down those clips. Alright, there we go. We're white. Now, let me clean up and we'll start applying some colors. Ready to add some colors. I always start with the belly. Createx transparent bright yellow. About halfway up the side. Where before I painted all different directions, I'm now going to shoot front to back only. Don't shoot back to front, only front to back. Alright, that's got our belly. Good enough. Let me clean up. We'll move on to the black. Ready for the back. Createx Pearlized black. Same way, shoot front to back. You get a little drift down, let it drift a little down the side. Make sure you get good around that face so your eyes show up well. Especially if you say you want to put yellow eyes in, you're going to want to make sure you got plenty of black around the face. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not going to mess any more with that. Now, going to take the heat gun. We're going to dry it really well before we take that wrap off. Alright, got it dry. Here we go. Let's moment of truth, right? Get a hold of that back in. There we go, over the top of that. Wrap around there. And there we go. That's got us. Now, how well you can see this, I'm not sure, but you notice the white? You can see a little white around that. That's because we shot the white from the front and back both ways, but when we put on the color, we only went this way, and that allows a little of that white to show through. All right, I like that. Eyes and a top coat. All right, we are ready for a top coat. Now, I went ahead and I went with yellow eyes instead of red. Originally, the first ones I did had the red, but I thought, let's go yellow this time. Another thing I want to point out, I put the base coat, that red and black, on, and it sat here for 3 or 4 days before I came back and painted again. As I said, I do that sometimes. Well, in the meantime, I was taking tape off bills on other ones, and I took the tape off this one, and then I went ahead and painted it. I don't know if anybody noticed that when I was painting that or not. You can go back and look. But I had the bill like this, and I painted over. Basically, guys, a little water and a Q-tip, and maybe my pocket knife, and I just took it all off. So for a minute, I thought about leaving it on. I thought, hey, let's just leave the bill painted. But then I thought, I got a 2-piece top coat, the bill and everything. So, you know, don't worry about it. All this is water-based with this Createx, so Q-tip and water took it all off. All right, let's get ready here. Bob Smith Industries 30-minute 2-part epoxy for the top coat. We'll squirt a little out and just get 2 parts of it here. As you can see, I don't get real concerned about ultra accuracy. I know a lot of people do. Let me get myself a stirrer here quick. A lot of people really get into how accurate you have to be, and as I've said many times, I'm not one of those. So, and I haven't really ever had a problem. There we go. All right, let's get a top coat on here. Nothing fancy about the brush, just a cheapy brush. Said before, we're going to hang it up. That'll take care of any brush strokes we have in it. It'll level itself out fine. Biggest thing is, as you do this, when you get it done, give yourself a really good look over. Make sure you got all the spots covered. I will admit, I've had times I've missed a spot, and really it is, you know, you can come back when the rest of it's hard, mix yourself up just a little tiniest amount, and go ahead and apply it to that one spot you missed. I've had times when just, I mean, a spot no bigger than the end of that brush, I missed it, and I just mixed up a little, dabbed it in the spot. Hey, it worked perfectly fine. Sometimes we gotta be careful we don't get too technical, think we gotta do too much. Sometimes simple is best. There we go. And I try not to get too much on here. You're gonna get run down at the tail anyway when we hang it up, but I try not to get too carried away with this stuff. All right, there we go. I'm gonna hang him up here. Got a wire on him so he's hung up. That way anything will drip down on the wire. And I'll tell you too, guys, what I tend to do, probably about 20 minutes after this is hung up, a lot of times I like to come back and slip the wire out. And then I may take a toothpick and kind of go through that hole just a little bit, and a lot of times then it's pretty well cleaned out and you don't have any problems. All right, we'll get that hung up and we'll take a look at it when she's all done. Well, there we go, guys. There is our pearlized black and chartreuse S-crank style. It's got the 2-tone colors underneath it for the base underneath the wrap. Tell you what, like I said, I've caught a lot of fish with this lure, a lot of nice fish, and it is my favorite. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to the channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.